Welcome, my name's Hayley Barkler, and each month I check in with the universe to see what guidance they have for us. In September 2022, we have 3 topics, and they are time construct of reality, insight into the quantum field, and the self responding to the self. This also includes a short guided meditation at the end into how to open the third eye. So, if this is your first time viewing my content, and if you like it, love you to subscribe or follow my page. And if you'd like to go into the running to win a personal truth channeled reading which I offer, jump on my website and you can go into that by signing up to my blog. Okay, so before we get into the 3 topics, just a quick little touch on what they've offered us to begin with, which is there's a cracking on the horizon. And this limited view that humanity has of self, and this is the collective view of humanity, not our individual view. So how humanity as a whole sees ourselves as separate and individual little selves is about to be blown to smithereens. It is now the time upon you which this vast awakening within, for so many of us, will begin to merge with new realities, and this true formation of godlike presence and a godlike self and our own sovereignty will step forth. So they just really wanted to start with that. They also wanted to add that we are accelerating at an alarming rate at the moment, and this is screaming out for us to develop our abilities. So if you have been following me, you'll know this already, but if you haven't, we are really being guided and given tools, tips, practices, homework, whatever you want to call it, to develop our own abilities. And I really don't want this to feel like homework or schoolwork or this heavy task that you need to do, but it is our tangible way, our physical way of opening up pathways into a more energetic expression of who we are. And we can, and thing ourselves there as much as we like, but there has to be some shifts in what we do and some creative endeavor in what we do to really open up our creative pathways. So I hope you see it as that. And yeah, I hope so, because you've got a couple more tasks to do this month. I don't think that's going to stop. But yeah, just to set that scene. Okay, so they just want to say that these are the must-dos. They're not giving us too much more than we need to do. It's just the must-dos. And that it's about us gathering and opening up information so that we can make clear and concise decisions in the latter part of this year. So I'll leave you with that, and we will get into the first topic. Okay, so we're going to start with the construct of time. They have made this clear that they're going to continue this message. Now, I think January, maybe April, March, somewhere around there. There may even be one in July, where we've touched on the topic of time. And it's a really hard thing to get our minds around, living in this very constructed world around time. But they're going to keep plugging it home until we understand. So they really want our innate knowing to fully comprehend that there is no relevance to time, and that will unlock our perception and our abilities. But they're going to keep drumming it home in the meantime. So they'd like to start with saying that we're going to be forced headfirst into this notion or this understanding, this belief perception that time is the illusion of darkness. And this limitation that time holds on us often makes us choose decisions, actions in our life that are less serving to our well-being. And that's its sinister attribute, that we adhere to time at the detriment of our own being. So they're saying that right now there's only a few that really understand that time functions outside of space, like the true understanding of how time works, and that so many of us still see time as this tangible element of creation on Earth and how we interact. Soon we will become aware of the incredibly frustrating matrix time has entrapped us within. And they're saying this is part and parcel of the breakdown of the contained reality that we all find ourselves in. And that's a lot to do with, I guess what many spiritual people are talking about that's coming up in the next time period, which I'll go into in another reel. But I was actually watching a YouTube on by Jason, I don't know his last name, apologies, from Archaics, who I've stumbled across a couple of times, but he landed in my world yesterday. So I watched that this morning, and it's just really interesting how things correlate. And I say this as a separate thing completely to time, that when you stumble across videos, read books, anything that comes into your perception, take note, because there's often a correlation between a new belief or an opening that is an opportunity for you to see. So when you get a continued theme running into your life, just really stop and take note of that. Anyway, I watched this, and it was about his opinion of the structure of our world, and how that we are contained in this simulation. I can't speak. You know what I'm trying to say. And it just, to me, and I'd written this the day before, and that is totally what they're talking about. So I'll pop a little link to his video down below. It was about the weird things about Australia. Anyway, getting back to what we should be focusing on, they're saying that for right now, moving forward, we really need to sideline time. We don't need to factor time into our planning, and it's this practice of not focusing on time as our metric and our measure of success. So that we really should, the time it takes to do anything should be balanced on the joy and the excitement and the emotion that we receive from that given thing. Now, whether that's for minutes or millennia, that we have this fixation that our elevation of self is founded on time. And what that means is that our egocentric views have correlated time, a measure of time, to a measure of success. And you can see that from our birth. We are measured by how quickly we walk, how quickly we talk. Then and then parents on top of that are measured based on that child's speed of development. And then you move into school, and if you don't pass that year, you stay down. So everything is based on, now it's going to take you longer. Everything is reflected back on more time or less time, depending on the situation, either is success or not success. And we have tied our value up in time. So they really want us to ponder right now that if time didn't exist and you were the only thing living in this universe, would you berate yourself for not finishing a task in time? So if you're it, nothing else exists, as you create everything, you do everything, no one is there to judge you, you've had no preconception to how we were born and what our belief systems are with time now, you would not choose to tell yourself off or hold guilt for not achieving something in time. You would just move and flow with the joy of doing something, and when that joy disappeared, you'd find something else to do. And that is how we have to relearn to function, and that's very contrary to how we do function. So that there's a big step, there's a big leap there. It's such a stretch. I understand it is for me as well. Even though I can conceptually understand it, behaving and acting that way is great. So we'll get there. They do want to say that this is the magic trick that's been played on us, and that is why they're going to keep reminding us and keep drip feeding information about time to really start opening up those pathways that we don't exist in this trapped form of time, and we can escape that. They want to say as the final thing on time is of no relevance in the truth of who you are. You are here to enjoy and express. Do not limit your freedoms relative to a time scale. Be free thinking and free acting. Okay, so there's our little reminder of time. So our second topic is insight into the quantum field. And this is a bit of a leap for some, they've said, but as we have promised, for each of us to expand our consciousness and into elevated states of being and remembering that one must do the creative exploration to get there. So this is a doing task, and you will need your pens and pencils. They have also recommended that you might want some coloured pencils or textures to fully appreciate the intricacy and the complexity that hopefully will develop and be expressed. By doing this task, this is about triggering your memory. It's about opening your soul, and it's about being able to feel beyond our physicality. Now, for some people, that's quite a natural thing, but for many that are awakening at this point in time, this is all new ground. So this is a sort of a nice transition into still doing physical things that help actually on an energetic and a more connected space of mind. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is about understanding quantum entanglement. So you can research what quantum entanglement is online, and although that will give a very theoretical and theoretical understanding, this is about sort of stepping out of science in a way and being able to feel it and embody what that actually means to us as energetic beings. So the first thing they'd like you to do is to think of someone that you have a strong connection with. Now, that may be your best friend, it might be a parent, grandparent, it could be a dog. It doesn't have to be human, but it does have to be alive. They don't want us going into past life connection as part of, or not past life, passed over life spirit connections as part of this. So once you've found that person, sit in obviously some sort of semi-meditative state and connecting with your heart's resonance with that person in your mind's eye, and ask to be shown the truth, texture and tangibility of that connection. So what they want us to understand and feel and see as part of this is the boundless, endless creative entanglement that we all have. So from any impression that you get, any feeling that you get, either draw, write. If that isn't your natural response, and your natural response is sound or any kind of, anything outside of something that can be physically put down on paper, then have a phone at the ready to record yourself. This is all about understanding the intricacies and how your being works. And what they want, what this task is purely here to do, is to open up your memory of the field's potential as a collective expression. So this is tapping back into all the relationships and understanding that with every relationship that we hold, there is an anchor and to that relationship, and it's trying to see that in a way that isn't obviously with our physical eyes, and how that expresses itself for you. What this actually is the matrix template that you're creating for your own game of life, your own experience here on this world. So these are all different layers of understanding that are being opened up, reconnected, remembered by doing these very physical, creative tasks. So it's getting out of our mind and sort of engaging in, make believe if it needs to be that for you, if that's sort of what will take you there. But it's for those, particularly starting their spiritual journey, this is a great bridge. For anyone that struggles to do that, I suggest sort of doing it like I started when I was doing channeled writing, is that you just write, or you just draw, or you get out of your way for a minute and just start. It doesn't matter, scribble, every colour, pick up the pens. Eventually you'll start, just as long as you're thinking of that person and feeling that person in your heart, you'll eventually start with words or imagery that relates to that, and you'll feel a shift, I promise you, into that when you know that you've connected correctly. Very clearly, big capital letters. Do not fear getting this wrong. There is no wrong answer in this. This is just purely about understanding connectedness. And when your rational mind's out the way, how does that show up for you? How does that present? So I'd encourage you to do this throughout the month. Choose different people, and try obviously human. Try your pet or an animal that you have a strong connection with. just to see if there's a different feel or flavor to what comes through. But essentially, they're just saying when you realize that there's these patterns that interlock us all with each other, that's when the part of your mind will stop its limitation about the illusion of separation. So that's ticking you over into we are one. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Good luck drawing, writing, sounding, however that shows up for you. We are going to now get into number 3, which is the self, responding to self. Now this is going to actually take us into a meditation, which I will tag onto the end of this video, but I will also run this as a separate meditation so that you can just go to that, and I'll pop that out during the week as well. As we move into this higher expression of awareness, we need to see that we have full control over the creation that we are in. We create the foundation of what we experience, and we also bring in the outcome, and then we have full ability to shift all that in between. That is our true potential as creative beings. That is obviously something that is very far off for many people and still pretty far off for most. So they just want us, this is all about concepts. This is all about opening our mind. Nothing remains stuck. Nothing remains fixed. Everything is expendable and expandable. And that is what they want us to feel and understand, that we have this plethora of creation available to us if only we owned it, understood it, knew how to work it, all the other things in between. But that is where we're going. So, we will just be in absolute awe of what we can do versus what we do as those abilities open up more for us. And this is about aligning to our higher self, right? So the more we can experience that true connection, the more these abilities become tangible in our experience, and we move outside of the structure that our mind is limited to. So as I said, I'm going to take you into a meditation. It's a brief meditation, not exceptionally long, but it's about creating the connection to our third eye, and that this is the soul seat of awakening creation, within our creation and beyond. So they really encourage you to offer yourself the space to do this throughout the month. And they're saying that it's actually detrimental to all of humanity for us to remain closed-minded. And they want to make us aware that closed-minded, in our sort of understanding of closed-minded people, are, that they're not willing to look at another's opinion. They're very tunnel-visioned in their own self-belief. But what they really want to express, that closed-minded is when the mind's eye is closed, and that this is a time for a massive shift in consciousness. And we really need to look at this facet of ourselves. So there's nothing more important right now than opening up our third eye. There are many exercises online, practices, instructions as to how one can open their third eye, and they do encourage you to explore those if this doesn't feel right to you. But they sort of wanted to also add to that is that this meditation that we'll be taken into is about actually expanding your third eye beyond just what we feel is our third eye and our inner, our vision. I don't want to get into it too much because I'll take you into it with some expectation at this point. But let's just say that it's more than just working with the third eye. The importance of that third eye in our higher self connection is the key message that's going to come through this meditation. The meditation, just so you know, is a silent meditation in the sense that there's no music, no background noise. So you will just be following my voice. And this is intentional, that the silence, we'll go into that, but the silence creates space for you to really connect in this particular practice. And that to have no preconception of the colour, and that's the colour of chakras, particularly the third eye, that we can sort of restrict our imagination, restrict our creation, our creative abilities based on what we've been told certain things are. Okay, so but we will get into that before the meditation. Just in closing, they did have a message, and I shall find that for us somewhere in my little notes here. So they want to say they are so encouraged by the efforts on our part into our own soul development, and that we're activating ourselves into the collective awareness, that this month of September's platform is expansion of self, and to be ready for the next few months. The collapse of life as you know it is desperately upon you. Okay, so we're going to go into the meditation. Have a lovely month. Hopefully I'll pop up a bit more. I did have COVID last month, so that took me out mentally for a bit. So I'm back connected now, which is great, and feeling pumped for the year ahead. Okay, I will chat to you next month. Bye. Welcome to this meditation where you will be guided to connect and open into the center point of your third eye. Before we get started, I'd like you to drop any preconception you have of the traditional colors associated with the third eye chakra. The universal guidance that I receive has directed for you to see your third eye as your expression center, your connection center. It is symbolic of the DNA sequence of your own enlightened force. As such, the color or colors that may present during this meditation are entirely correct in this given moment for your own personal experience. You will be guided in silence as the distraction of sound fuels the outer perception of reality, and in this case, we must go within. It is time now that we move into your expansion. Take a moment to calm the mind and turn off all devices. Allow yourself this short time of complete devotion to your development and connection. While seated or laying down, take in a deep, nourishing breath. And sigh out all heaviness from your day or night. Breathe in again and visualize the sweet sense of peace engulfing your body and your mind. Take one more conscious breath and deeply relax. Now, allow a vision of your whole being to enter your mind's eye. See the detail. Notice your arms, your legs, face, and torso. This miniature version of you takes up the entire space of your inner imagination. I invite you to zoom into this figure. I ask you to bring your attention to your heart space in the center of your chest. See this space beaming with energy, green and pink. Follow the flow of energy as the wheel of color covers your chest. This is your focus point. Hold this vision until you feel peaceful in the heart of your own physical body. Now, I'd like you to move your vision up toward your face and land your attention on your forehead, centered between your eyebrows. Become aware of an energy or light arising out from this point, an animation of color sparking. Freely allow your mind's eye to see any combination of colors that come to you. This is the magic of the third eye opening experience. This spark of light and color spreads out from the center of your mind. It filters upwards from your forehead, permeating the space above your head. Now, this same energy cascades downwards towards your feet, soaking into the ground or floor a meter below. The light from your third eye spins and spreads across and around your entire being. You feel encased by light that has trickled forth from the center of your forehead. Euphoric radiance imbues your body. I'd like you to sit in this feeling. Notice all the colors, all the color in your vision, knowing the palette is uniquely yours. Your third eye awakening is very personal, and your chakra is divinely aligned to your spirit and soul creation. This funnel of energy continues to feed from your forehead center. Watch as it wraps and wraps itself around you, creating a vortex over your physical being. Now notice, streaming down from above, a golden light is filtering into the vortex opening. It merges into your own color palette. This golden light is your higher self aspect, longing to join the soul essence of who you are. Your third eye is being activated by this combination and connection of your higher and lower selves. It is feeding on the mantra, I am soul, I am self, I am so full. I am soul, I am self, I am so full. As your energy intake increases and the golden light continues to fall, you feel the pulsing of your heart space. The opening of the third eye is activating this center seat of your consciousness. This is the true enlightenment you seek. When your third eye, your heart space, and your God self or higher self connect. This is magic, awakening. Your third eye is more than just its physical location in your body. It is a doorway, allowing the energy imprint of your full consciousness to open throughout your entire being. This is omnipotence. This is bliss. I offer you to sit in this space and feel the purity of connection as you are supported by the energy that surrounds you. When you feel it's time to come back, see the energy pull into your physical being from all directions and seed itself within your third eye chakra, ready for the next time you wish to actively work with this connection. Understand your third eye is the channel between your higher self and your physical realm of expression. For more guided meditations and activations, please visit hayleybarkler.com or subscribe at Hayley Barkler channels on YouTube and other social media platforms. Wishing you all the good things.